If I could write you a song and make you fall in love, I will already have you up under my arm. I used to all of my tricks. I hope that you like this, but you probably won't. You think you're cooler than me. You got designer shades just to hide your face, and you wear them around like you're cooler than me. And you never say hey or remember my name, and it's probably 'cause you think you're cooler than me, cooler than me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our next episode of BingX Blockchain Week. We have Jordan. You remember him from last conference, Jordan, from a new protocol and a musician and NFT builder, a Taoist.
That's right.
Really glad to have you here, Jordan. You For those who joined us recently, for those who were not able to join us during the conference, can you please tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. Good to see you again. And I myself have been working at Near Protocol in the labs for the last year or so, and I got into this space through my own art and tech nonprofit collective. And when we were transitioning into doing more online events, we wound up doing NFTs, and through that kind of discovered DAOs as being a mechanism for running our collective more efficiently, and then just hanging out in the ecosystem and looking at all the options. Like our artists needed a good solution. I liked what I saw at Near, and there was a bunch of work to do, so I dove in. Previous to that, I was working at Google shipping material design for internal marketing pages, and before that, I have a long history of doing technology management and direction for advertising agencies and companies, Fortune 500 stuff. That's me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good experience that you have. Welcome again, Jordan. Glad to
Thank
have
you.
you. Tell us more about New Protocol. What is the main goal of the project, and as any project, which problems does it solve?
Yeah. So the goal of Near is to bring blockchain technology to the masses. We see the big growth opportunity in all of the people that are coming into this space from Web 2 and who have never thought about blockchain before, or maybe don't even want to think about blockchain and just want to take advantage of everything that it brings to the table. So to do that, the three pillars and values of Near are to be scalable, simple, and secure. And
Okay.
and that's it. Keeping it nice and simple.
All right. Good. Near has it's a pretty impressive, but Near has nearly like 5 billion in market cap. That's that's a really great result for a relatively young product. What is the secret of such success? Do you think what investors are appealed about Near is related to the sharding technology, which is talked a lot, which is spoken a lot with the Ethereum too?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the technology is certainly solid, and that was one of the things that attracted me to Near as I was evaluating options and where I wanted to put my energy. I really liked what I saw with the Doom Slug consensus and the Nightshade Sharding, and the fact that it was a team that delivers and is very pragmatic about actually delivering things. I think that if you're talking to investors, of course they're going to look at what you've built, but more so they're going to look at the people and the team. And when I was checking out Near, one of the things I really loved was how accessible all the engineering teams were. I could check out on YouTube any of the weekly dev meetings, get an idea of literally where things were at with different projects, and have conversations with the engineers, and they were all crack. Like everybody was on top of their game, and yes, there's problems and you're always having to solve them, but that's why you want to work with people who win coding challenges and can like solve those math problems and those coding problems and those logic problems faster than anybody else.
So mainly a team behind, and of course the technology,
Mm-hmm.
which drove, with this. That's great to know. Um, remember last time we spoke about the proof of stake, and how
Mm-hmm.
important it is, and that it's important for scalability. And we were talking about the proof of stake and validators and decentralization and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To keep the network secure, you need validators,
Absolutely, yeah.
as for a proof of stake blockchain. So I've read about your validators upgrade, and sounds like this is something you were not ready for, and the high demand makes you look for solutions. I mean, it's great, and you have a demand for validators, just like with Ethereum too, when they release, when they need to validate, all everyone just jumped in. So I saw and I read that you guys too have a high demand of validators, and you're looking for a solution of how to resolve it. And why don't you adapt? I mean, that's the first. You can tell us more about it. And why don't you adapt the validator scheme of Ethereum to where you have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
small number?
So I think that there's like a bit of a misconception in the question, in that Near wasn't ready for demand and wasn't ready to upgrade to the Nightshade Sharding. The network was not at capacity when we rolled out Nightshade Sharding, and we didn't roll it out in response to needing the TPS or the greater efficiency. Like, the network has been working fine, and we've been steadily growing, and have millions of users. But that wasn't the driving force behind the upgrade. It wasn't the need for speed right now. It's knowing that we're going to need the speed when we do bring on billions of users. And what we were doing with the Nightshade upgrade, it's happening in phases. With the simple Nightshade upgrade, was to be ready for that and to preemptively get that technology rolled out when it's not critical for the functioning of the performance of the network. So simple Nightshade is just taking the idea of sharding and testing it out with 4 shards, just to get like the basic premise proven, because so far it has been all on test nets and in white papers and all those things. So this is a great step for proving that Nightshade is the way to go. And then the next steps will be happening over the next about year, as we move into full sharding, which will allow for the infinite scaling. And as far as adopting the validator scheme from Ethereum 2.0, I think that actually, like, everybody who's working on sharding is working on this together. So Alex, the main research scientist at Near, was actually at ETH Lisbon and contributed to a sharding challenge that was being run, and actually won that challenge. So it's something where everybody in this space who's working on sharding, they're sharing ideas. And actually, the Ethereum 2 team came into the Near Whiteboard series, and they had conversations about how to handle sharding, how to do validation, how to do block production, all those things. And definitely check out the Near Whiteboard series for a deeper dive into this. But the long and short of it was that after that conversation, the Ethereum 2 team updated their approach to how to do sharding. And that's how the space works, is people have conversations and people move forward with what they see to be the best solution for whatever their concerns are. And with technology, there's rarely a golden bullet that solves everybody's problems. It's looking at your options and picking which trade-off feels right for you and your goals.
Okay. So congrats with the Nightshade. Um, so will with the launch of the Nightshade, I mean, with its progress move on, does that mean that the network will run faster? And what other perks does the sharding and the Nightshade will bring to new protocol?
Yeah, so since it's like a very forward future facing rollout and the network isn't at capacity yet, I would say that your average user isn't going to notice a change in speed because transactions are already happening in a matter of seconds. Like they feel like Amazon clicks on the network. So I don't think that your average user is going to notice it, and it's more for like in the long term, making sure that that kind of performance is maintained. Of course, it does make the network technically faster, and that's why to do sharding is so that you can get that scaling and performance. And I think that one of the things to look at is like there's the numbers with like TPS and everything, and then there's usability, and that's what we want to do is just maintain like a good usable experience for average people coming into the space who don't understand why it should take 15 minutes for something to happen on the blockchain. Like it needs to happen in 2 seconds, 1 second.
Of course, and of course the transactions. And if you say that the average user won't notice, who will then? I mean, probably the projects who adopt a new protocol, probably an online store or anyone who will, let's say,
Yeah, well,
like Amazon.
it's like good design. If you see it, then there's something wrong with it. Beautiful design is invisible. You don't want anybody to notice that everything is working.
Okay,
And of course, we're dealing with technology, so things will inevitably break, and that's where the quick problem solving and everything else comes into play.
okay, good. Well, that's a tricky question. With the full launch of sharding, will new protocol outperform Solana?
I I believe so. Like straight up, I believe so, and that's why I'm putting my energy into like working on your ecosystem. And to think about this problem, it requires a bit of like um, abstract thinking. And the way I explain this to people is even if you've got the sweetest gaming rig in the world, you don't want the entire internet doing all of its computation on that single rig. You'd want something like a rendering farm like they use to make Pixar movies. You want something distributed so that it can actually scale. And that's what the sharding is allowing you to take your computation power and send it out to a bunch of different nodes so that it can scale. And that's why people like Pixar have rendering farms, is because to do massive amounts of computation like we're going to see in the blockchain space coming up, you need to distribute it to be able to handle that. And no one computer or one like single physical machine should have to handle that. And that's the analogy between a non-sharded solution like Solana, which of course it's running under the hood on all of the nodes and validators that support its virtual machine, but in the end it's a single virtual machine that's being run on the network. And the idea is to distribute it infinitely via sharding is going to be more performant in the long run. And
Okay.
that's why we're doing the upgrades now so that that happens in the future.
I hope we don't. We have some Solana fans in our community, and I don't. I really hope that they don't take it into account the outperformance of the pricing and market cap. But we're talking about technology really right now.
Absolutely, yeah. And I I am not a maximalist by any
Right?
means. I believe that every technology has its pros and cons and purpose. And I'm looking forward to bridging to Solana going live. We've got the bridge to Solana under development, and Near
Okay.
wants to bridge to every chain. Like a computer sitting alone, no matter how fast it is still a computer in a closet. We want all of the computers to be able to talk to each other and for our assets to move around smoothly. So we're friendly with everybody.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
What was building a bridge with Phantom Network on the table after we come as of
Absolutely.
there?
Absolutely. And that one should be easy since it's EVM and we already have the
Yeah.
EVM bridge worked out.
Cool, cool. Can't wait for it. Um, so, what are the most popular projects which integrate near among the? You can split them into industries within the blockchain, like NFTs and DEX and everything.
Mm-hmm. So for DeFi stuff, probably like Rev Finance is one of the best exchanges to look at, DEXs. And then as far as like, and that's also an automatic market maker. As far as NFTs, you've got like Haras and Mintbase, which are like the big marketplaces. And then there's also like a lot of NFT projects that are like last week we had the profile picture project near Misfits launch, and then this week we had near Knots launch. So there's profile picture projects that are launching, and then there's also some really cool tooling around NFTs for creatives. There's Satori, which is doing things like allowing people, creatives and influencers, to put out campaigns where their audiences do something like interact with a tweet or log in with their TikTok or other, common things for Web2 folks to do, and use that to distribute NFTs to like all of those users. So Satori is a really cool thing to check out in the NFT space.
Sure.
One of the other popular things we see is earning, like people earning on chain, and we see that in apps like Near Crowd, and then also at Astro DAO. Like the DAOs on Near are really active. There's over 100 monthly active DAOs, and they're doing things like offering services to each other. Like there's a legal guild, there's a UX guild, there's design and development guilds, aka DAOs, and all of these groups are offering their service to each other and to the community and getting paid for it. And then there's also a lot of like creative DAOs where it's artists coming together into a collective to promote work with each other. It's collectors coming together to be able to afford things like that. So definitely
That's
check out
pretty
Astro
awesome.
DAO.
Astrodao. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. We will also drop a link on our channels for Astrodao. We'll definitely check it out. Thank you very much. Um, in August 2021, you launched a Metaverse Hackathon.
Yep.
So you probably knew that the Metaverse hype was coming. And and how did it go? Any metaverses running on new?
Yeah, so one of the most promising projects from the hackathon was the reality chain, and that's a metaverse project that's running on top of Octopus, the substrate chain that runs on top of Near, um, or the substrate like chain enabler. And that project is really interesting because it takes the idea of metaverse and it doesn't make it something that's VR and immersive. It's something that you can casually interact with. And I think that that's important to recognize, is that the metaverse isn't just the high definition Ready Player One vision of the future. It's all of the ways that technology already overlays and weaves into everything we do. Google Maps is part of the metaverse. Like all of
Yeah,
these solutions of like technology that we use on a daily basis and integrate into our lives is making the digital more tangible than it's ever been in the past. So the metaverse is something where, yeah, it's cool to see like game focused metaverses, and there's some cool projects that came out of that besides Reality Chain. There's also like a art gallery environment that was developed for Mintbase. So anybody who has a Mintbase smart contract store, Mintbase is a factory, so you launch your smart contract off of Mintbase. You've got your own store, and you also get a VR world that goes along with it. Like everybody gets that by default. And then there's also some specific art collectives that are making their own like virtual gallery worlds, like Kodame, my art and tech nonprofit. We do yearly art and tech festival, and we developed a virtual world for that last year, and we'll be doing that again this year using New Art City. And then um, there's also Soda, which is state of the art, is another art collective that's making virtual environments to hang out in for artists. And then at NearCon, we had a virtual environment too. We wanted to be inclusive, let everybody participate in NearCon. So we had a virtual environment set up for that, and had activity in it throughout the conference. It was really cool to see that it wasn't just like something that we built and could say that we built it, but that it actually got used.
That's cool. It's really good that you mentioned that metaverse is not everything about gaming, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you was about um, how will metaverse gaming evolve? Are we going to see um, um, graphics and the open world like in Witcher, Wild Hunt, or anything like that? Like better graphics, more interactions and stuff. But it's a good stuff that you mentioned that metaverse is not only about gaming, but it could be something related to an industry or an art. Glad to know. Um, so for near, what should we expect? Any updates from near protocol until the end of the year, or any big updates coming recently?
Yeah, I can't leak all the alpha, but also Near works pretty openly. So for people that are curious and interested about things that are up and coming, I would highly suggest checking out our governance forum, which is very active, and all the development teams post to it, and all of the community teams post there. So gov.near.org has more alpha than you can shake a stick at. There's a ton of stuff going on.
Okay. So for any updates, we should check on the website, right?
Yep, and definitely follow the Twitter. That's like more immediate stuff that has just
Yeah.
launched and to get excited about. But yeah, check out the governance forum if you want a little bit of an inside scoop.
Okay, cool. And any NFT projects coming in new protocol? NFTs, is in
Absolutely.
everyone's mouth.
Yeah, so Human Guild is one of the DAOs that's very active, and one of the older DAOs on Near Protocol, and they're very into how people earn on chain, and part of that is play to earn, and they're focusing on a lot of different gaming projects that involve NFTs and allow people to earn. So they have several things that have been in development for, close to a year now, and are just getting ready to launch. So there's a bunch of gaming projects on the cusp of release, and that you can play betas for. And some of them are like really high graphic AAA style games. Like Hash Rush is like a PC game you install, and it's got awesome graphics, and it's kind of like a real-time strategy style game, things like that. So there's definitely like gaming and NFT stuff dropping. Besides that stuff that like has been kind of incubating with Human Guild, there's also on the NFT front, the project that launched last week, the Near Misfits, was done with an open source toolkit called Tank, TENK. It's like a play on the 10K thing. And that technology stack is open source. So anybody can come and grab that, clone it, and kick out their own profile picture project. So there's a long pipeline of artists that are slotted for releasing with that. And who knows when somebody grabs it and takes it, like we don't know what all the launches are going to be. So yeah, plenty of NFT stuff dropping soon.
But it's open source and anyone can grab it, and you probably won't don't have a check, and you don't need to,
Yeah, yeah,
right? It's
permissionless.
open
Yeah.
source, just permissionless. Grab it and do it. Okay. We should move on with the questions from the audience. I see some questions here, but some of them we've been through probably,
Mhm.
but I'll read them anyway because there might be something that you might need to add on.
Great.
How does the Cardano partnership solves interoperability? Is new protocol planning to pit against Polkadot as well?
Um, yeah. So again, near isn't like uh, in contention with any other chains, and I think that actually like hurts the marketing story of Near, because when you have a versus kind of situation, it's a very easy story to tell. You got your good guy, you got your bad guy, and like you got a marketing story. The marketing story of being chill with everybody and collaborative and building a future where everything is interoperable is a little bit more of a nuanced story to tell, and that's a little bit harder of a story to tell. But yeah, we're not pitting against Polkadot necessarily. What Octopus Network does, which is the substrate chains on top of Near, what that does is it allows anybody who isn't able to afford a parachain slot or wants to do their own private network with all of the performance of Near under the hood, but loves developing substrate. That's what Octopus Network is for. It's just an option for people. And Aurora is a similar option for folks that are coming from, running on EVM, having already built with Solidity and just wanting to reconfigure their application and deploy it, and having compatibility down to the base token still being ETH. So they don't even have to rewrite anything. So it's just more options. And with the bridging, it means that we're not pitted against anybody. We're building with them.
Okay, good to know. Is new protocol venturing to Metaverse? Any plans?
Absolutely. Yep. I think that we did touch on this one a good deal. And yeah, we'll continue to see more and more Metaverse projects. So the last hackathon was called MetaBuild, and it was very successful. People loved the theme, and people wanted more time to build on it. So we're going to be announcing MetaBuild 2 happening in December. So you can expect a lot more Metaverse stuff and a lot more cool projects coming up.
This December? This
This December, yep.
Okay, so we will be tracking. Would you be able to share a link to so I can share it with on our Telegram channel and Twitter? So
Absolutely.
So we can
Will do.
track. Thank you very much. And do you have any partnership channels, ecosystem funds to support NFT marketplaces, GameFi projects, VCs?
Absolutely.
Or how do they contact new protocol for that?
Yeah, so the DAOs that I was mentioning are a great way to get into funding. There's the DAO Cubator. So if you go to daocubator.astrodao.com, there's funding available there. Near also has a very robust grants program. So if you have your roadmap figured out and you have your budgets figured out and you need a little bit more money, the grants program is probably the right way to go. And if you just go to near.org, the grants program is outlined there. And if folks have any questions about navigating that, give me a ping. And there's a whole ecosystem team that's dedicated to helping people find success in this space. So reaching out to any of those folks, either on Discord or Telegram, will help get you sorted fast. And yeah, of course, there's support for GameFi, DeFi, NFT stuff, but also just if you have an idea that's way out there that's not part of those, we're interested in seeing those things too, not just what's already been tried and true, but new ideas like what does blockchain mean when you're coming at it from the Web2 angle, things like that. But yeah, I would say check out DAO Cubator, check out the grants program, and hop on Discord and Telegram to get in touch with the ecosystem success team.
Jordan, if I ask you when we finish the conversation to send all of these links to me or to our
Yes.
Telegram channel directly, because you see there is a huge interest in your protocol. I mean, it's an impressive project.
Yeah,
and
we have over 800 million in funding announced right now. So
that's
come get it. Come get it.
That's a lot of money, and we can share it. So probably, and we can't say no, but definitely there is someone in our audience, some of our users, traders, or whoever is following us on Telegram or Twitter would be interested in building something on new protocol, and why not?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll certainly share the links. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. How can Near support open metaverse environment?
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm a big fan of is the open webiverse and everything that's happening in that space. And we have been talking with that team about how to integrate and what it means to be open and all those things. Um, I was mentioning at the very start of this interview how open Near is as far as like the development and everything. So openness is a big part of the core value of Near, and like the gov form, the governance form is another example of that. So I think that it's only natural for the metaverse um, spaces that we put energy into to be in line with those values, and that the things we're going to be most excited about building are the open metaverses where everybody can participate and it's inclusive, like everything else we do.
Thanks. My personal question to you, Gordon. With all these metaverses coming, will these metaverses become the next metrics? Will we
I
be living in
I
metaverses?
think so. I think that, it's going to be so entwined that you're not even going to notice that it's like a metaverse anymore. Like I see it as the simple analogy is something like credit card payments. You never think about how that network works. It
Yeah,
just works. It's part of your daily life. And I think that we're going to get to that point with um, especially things like augmented reality, where it's it's just why would anybody be constantly looking down at their phone and having like that kind of like uh,
yeah,
phone monkey neck when they could just be like chilling and see all the data around them. I think that we're gonna get there. Maybe
that
not
is coming.
tomorrow, but it's
So,
coming.
remember the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Are we going to be something similar? Just having a copy of our avatar or ourselves elsewhere, doing the same thing we should do in the world.
Yeah, I think that we're we're already kind of seeing that with the profile picture projects. Like
Yeah,
people are representing themselves and having their characters that they put forward with those things, and sometimes that results in real life meetups, sometimes that results in virtual clubs that they're part of. But I think that that part we're already there. We're already seeing people like take on um, their personalities in different ways using technology. And personality is a really complex problem, and that's one of the things that I think is really important about blockchain is that yes, everything is transparent, but there's a huge need for privacy too, because everybody is a complex person and different parts of their personality come out in different conversations with different people. And that's true online as well as in real life. Like when you go to a club, you bring a different part of yourself than when you
right.
go to a like 5-star dinner.
Yeah.
So like there's going to be those spots in the cyberspace in the metaverse as well.
Okay, so just to wrapping it up shortly, we could recite George Bush when he said that I think we agree the past is over. Right?
Yeah,
Well,
we
or
can quote that. Yeah.
there is a question just came in from I'm afraid Julian Ortus. He's asking how fees in new protocol work. Um, how they work, how
Yeah.
are they generated? Or something.
Yeah, so I do suggest like getting into like the tokenomics white paper in addition to like the block production with Doomslug validation and the Nightshade to understand like the full system. Like definitely do your own research and get into the nitty gritty of it. Um, at the end of the day, it provides like getting back to that simple, scalable, secure, like it, you don't have to think about it that much. The fees are low and the transactions are fast. I think that one of the cool things that Near is doing is, in addition to paying the validators, like all of the dApps that are running on the network are also getting part of those fees. So that's like a cool angle that I'm not seeing done anywhere else. And I think that that rewards people in additional ways. And I think that that's a cool incentive structure, and it contributes to like the high quality of projects that you see. Like people are committed. You see less rug pulls because people are invested and they're getting rewarded for that investment.
Thanks a lot. I think we are done with the questions. That was pretty fast compared to our last conversation that we had.
Less voices, but just as fun.
That's fun. That's good. Jordan, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for joining us today. And well, we saw a comment. Someone said, "Awesome." Yes, Jordan is awesome. Near and BingX are awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a great to have you, Jordan. If there's anything else you would like to add, just to wrap up, please go ahead.
I think that we covered a lot of great ground, and we already have all the call outs, so I'll be sending links over. Definitely follow New Protocol Twitter, and yeah, it's very simple to get a wallet if you haven't done it yet. You can just go to wallet.near.org and check out that onboarding experience, and it takes less than a minute, so give it a go.
Okay, definitely will. Definitely. Thank you very much. Will you be joining us later on our other conferences and other interviews?
Looking forward. Thanks so much.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you guys for being with us today on our AMA with Jordan from New Protocol. Come back tomorrow with other projects coming in for interviews. We will wrap up this blockchain week today. Take care and bye bye. Thanks for being with us.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Jordan.